God's mad as hell. God isn't going to take it anymore. Who are you? You don't know. You're not even awake this morning, are you? Yeah, you're like all of Israel. You're like all the people of Judah. They're all asleep. Wake up, people. You can't sleep anymore because God's making demands on you because God's mad. He's all upset at you people. He gave you the land flowing with milk and honey, and what have you done? God made promises to you. God said, I'm going to take you out of slavery, and I'm going to give you a land that's going to be fruitful. And God went with you through the desert. You remember that? You remember? You heard the story. He gave you the land, and you settled it, and what did you do? Oh, Israel, you went off and you worshipped other gods. You didn't listen to what God asked you to do. You did your own thing. God isn't going to take it anymore. Nations rise and nations fall, and you are going to fall, and fall hard. Oh, by the way, my name's Jeremiah. You can call me Jeremiah. That's a joke. Jeremiah. You don't say the name in Spanish. Jeremiah. Harry. Jeremias. You can call me Harry. You just call me Harry. My name's Jeremiah, and I was your age once, believe it or not. I was your age, and I was probably about 13, and I was just hanging out with the guys. I was just down in the hood, and we were just kind of, sitting around, and well, I'm not like everybody else in that regard because my dad was a priest, one of those priests. So everybody thought I was a little weird anyway. I guess I am still a little weird. But so here I am. I'm hanging out with the guys down in the hood, and I hear a voice. Jeremiah. And I look around and say, quit kidding with the guys. Who are you? Who's talking? Jeremiah. Is that you, God? See, God talks to me all the time. Usually not when my friends are around, though. But he said, Jeremiah, I have a work for you to do. I said, I'm only 13 years old. What do you expect of me? I can't do anything. I can't talk. I'm not good enough to say anything. I'm only a little boy. And the voice, which I figured out now was God's voice, Yahweh said, I knew you before you were born. Okay. I didn't know you before I was born. And I knew you before you saw the light of day, and I chose you special. You chose me special? Am I going to win the lottery? You have $1 million for me, God? Am I going to get rich? Is that what you're going to do for me, God? No. Fool. Wake up. He said, no, I'm going to make you a prophet to the nations. Oh, I'm gonna win a big profit. I'm gonna make a lot of money. Is that what you mean? I'm gonna be a prophet to the nations? No, Jeremiah, he said. You're gonna go speak to the leaders of the world, and you're gonna tell them I'm angry and I'm upset and I'm mad and things aren't right anymore. I said, don't be silly, God. That's just really stupid. Nobody's gonna listen to me. I'm only 13 years old. He said, you're gonna go now. And he said, I'm going to give you the words to say. I'm going to tell you what to say. I'm going to put my words in your mouth, and you're going to say them, and people are going to listen to you. What he didn't say is that they're going to hate me for the words that I'm going to say. They're going to despise me because I'm telling them that what they're doing is wrong, and they're not behaving, and that God's mad at them, and that God's going to tear them down. He said to me, your message is going to be destruction and doom. The people have gotten rich. You people have gotten so secure in everything that you have and who you are that you have forgotten who gave it to you. That's the message he wanted me to tell And I said, God, they're not going to listen to me. I'm only a kid. How can anybody in the world listen to a kid? They're all rich, and like you said, they're not paying attention anymore anyway. Who's gonna listen to me? He said to me, look and see what you see. I kind of looked, and there in the heavens, I saw a walking stick, like this one, a walking stick. And I said, God, I see a walking stick. And he said, what that means is that I'm going to be with you. I'm going to hold you up so that when you feel like you're going to fall, I'm going to be there to pick you up. And then he said, look again into the heavens and tell me what you see. And so I looked into the heavens again up there, and I saw a big pot on the fire. This big pot, it was full of boiling water. And it was tipping over. I mean, this was a pot so big, it was like as big as the earth. And this pot was full of boiling water, and it was tipping over. And God said, that means that some people from the north are going to come in. People from Babylon are going to come in, and they're going to take over. And they're going to wipe you all out. They're going to show you how angry I am and how tired I am. And they're going to take you into captivity. And this was all the beginning of it. That's how it started. He said, this is the message. He said, go to the people and tell them I'm really, really angry and disgusted because I promised you so many things. I gave you everything you need. I brought you out of slavery into the freedom of the promised land, and you've turned your back on me now. You worship other gods, and you've forgotten who I am. He said, I've been trying to tell you for generations how sad I am, and you saw your brothers and sisters in Israel get destroyed. Now you, O Judah, are next. They're going to come in and run you over. You know, you people here today have seen all that happen. You saw how my people went into slavery back up into Babylon again. You saw how the nation fell. I warned them my whole life. I warned them. They tortured me. They tried to destroy my spirit. They tried to stomp out my words. But I kept telling the story. You know how I kept telling the story. You know how faithful I was. And God took them away. And you people have heard that story before. You know it already. But you know, God did something else for you, kind of like God did for us. See, I spent my whole life telling that kind of story to the people, and I got to the end of it. We indeed, the Babylonians came in and they tore us apart and destroyed our nation. But then God began to give me another message, a message that God's not going to abandon God's people forever. And the message here at the end of my life is that God's going to turn things around. And he'll restore the fortunes of Israel, fortunes of Judah. And you'll get your land back again. Well, you know the story and the rise and the fall of the nations, but it never seemed to work out because no matter how hard people tried, they never could be faithful enough. So what did God do? What did God do for you? What did God do to make it all right for you? You know, God sent somebody else into the world to let you know it was going to be okay. Who was that? Yeah. Children's sermon, always the right answer is Jesus. If you don't know what else to say, always say Jesus, right? So God sent Jesus into the world to say, you know, I'm going to live with you, and you're going to beat me up, and you're going to destroy me. You're going to nail me to a cross. And after I'm on the cross, a couple hours, I'm going to die. And then he rose from the dead, and he lives with God. And God uses that promise to say to you, you don't ever have to be afraid, no matter how bad life is, no matter how bad the world is. You don't ever have to be afraid, because God is with you in all circumstances. Last night I was at one of your churches, and as I was leaving, a lady was in the car, and she called over to me. She said, Jeremiah, well, she said Bishop, but it's almost the same thing. She said, Bishop, come over here, and I need to talk to you. I need a blessing. I said, why do you need a blessing? What blessing do you need? She said, this afternoon, the authorities came, ICE came. You know what ICE is? And took my husband away. And I have children, and I don't know what's going to be next. She said, I need a blessing. She said, I need you to pray for my husband, and I need you to pray for me and my family. I thought a lot about that woman overnight, and even this morning. And I thought, she turned to me because she knew the word of the Lord would give her strength. She knew that the God of her salvation in Jesus Christ would help her get through. She doesn't know what the future is, and God doesn't promise that everything's all going to be just okay, or that her husband and her kid's father is going to be back with them anytime soon. But she knew that I could pray with her, that Jesus would be with her and keep her in his care, that Jesus would lift her up, and that Jesus would be with her husband, the father of the children. And so we prayed together. We prayed that God really makes